Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I need you guys to continue to pray for a massive miracle of some sort. You know what? Yesterday I was thinking about what kind of miracle I needed, and so maybe I haven't been praying for the right things. Let me talk about what I'm most scared about. I'm most scared about the summer. We got heat waves in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, why don't you move out of Phoenix? Well, yeah, but for the first time in my life, I have a couple of dream jobs there, right? And I would hate to give you an idea of how big a conundrum this is. Yesterday, I got some emails talking about budget cuts, and I almost rooted for myself to lose the jobs because I don't want to quit dream jobs in a terrified city. It's a real big dilemma, right? And but then I've had times when it was the other way around. I had a city that I loved, but so I didn't love my job, and that was pretty terrifying too. So maybe it's just that I need to work on that. But not only does it get hot in Phoenix, it's almost a requirement to drive over there. Here in Taiwan, I've been here for a week now, and there hasn't been a moment in my time here that I went, oh, I wish I had a car to drive wherever, right? And it's hot. Everything is so far away, right? You can't just walk out your door and expect the whole city, right, to be accessible. Everything is so far away. Yesterday, I went to a board game meetup in Taipei. I'm in Tam Sui. The train ride was about an hour away, but at least I got to mingle with so many people on the train. What I love about train rides like that is you'll never see the people you interact in a train, you'll never see again. It's a relatively safe place to share about oh, I hate the heat wave. Last year I had COVID during a heat wave. You can share that on a train without too many repercussions, right? And so last year I was sharing too much of that with my boss, with my landlord, and it kind of came back to bite me. I talked about this yesterday. The train is a real nice place to dump. Obviously, you gotta consider your personal safety. But things like heat waves, like COVID, I hate the holidays. I'm bored out of my mind. The train is a very safe place to share that stuff. You can't really share that with your boss, right? If you start complaining about how you hate the holidays or how you're lonely out of your mind during the holidays, how last year you had COVID during a heat wave. A lot of times you can get exploited at your job, at your housing situation, over stuff like that, right? The train is also a great place to share celebration. Oh my God, I just came up with this big result at work. I just got this really good performance review. You can't really share that with your landlord, though. You can get exploited if you do, right? The train can also be a great place to share how you just got a new girlfriend or stuff like. See, I shared that with my landlord last year, and I think she took advantage of it. What had happened was she wanted me to pay the rent early, and I had come home from a Thanksgiving party, all excited. Our house was just flooded and all that, and she had the audacity to ask me for the rent early, and she exploited the timing. I really feel that way. I'm just about to, unfortunately, I had to leave in such a hurry, and I'm just about to complain and possibly sue my landlord in a small claims court, and I'm going to bring up the dynamics of that for sure. But you get the idea, right? The train is, you can't do that in Phoenix. So we got the hot weather, COVID still with us, and nowhere to dump your mental shit over in Phoenix. I really need these dumps every night. When I go out to the train and I just dump these stories. I really, even though it's half a world away, right, and people don't understand heat wave in Phoenix, it still feels good to dump it out. It really does. And I can dump it out in a safe place where nobody's going to take it, or nobody even knows my name, right? Um, but I'm going to continue to look for work in other places. Uh, Potentially, I don't like the cold weather either. That's the thing, right? In an ideal world, the other thing I could think about doing is work on being able to take the summer off. and then continue working in Phoenix. Then I can take the summers and go to Wallace, Idaho, or maybe even go to Poland. I can, if I checked out of my place in Phoenix and go to Poland for 2 months, 3 months, that actually isn't too expensive because the cost of everything is so much cheaper there. And then I can keep my dream jobs in Phoenix, right? But I'll have to think about how that will work. But that's the number one thing I'm most terrified about. Actually, I don't know if I want to spend 2 3 months in Poland. I don't speak the language. I won't be able to dump my stories over there. I really need those nightly dumps. That's why I really love Taiwan. I go out there. Oh my God, I hate the heat wave, and I really love that. I was doing that in Phoenix, but I suffered a lot of repercussions with sharing that with my network, right? And so yesterday on the subway, I was talking about how I had such a hard time with dating until I offered somebody. So I converted it to Taiwan, about 50,000 Taiwanese dollars. And everybody on the train laughed at me, but I said, you know what? It actually worked. When everything else failed, if you could pay 50,000 to have surgery so that your heart stops hurting when you go to sleep, would you do it? And then they understood. So it was nice to talk about that. And man, that was real nice to talk about. I can't do that with my boss, right? And so that's what I'm most terrified about. Summer's going to come, the heat wave's going to come. We're all going to stay indoors because of the heat wave, and then something's going to happen. And when I go to the grocery store, people are not going to be. See, here in Taiwan, you don't get dirty. If I were here in Taiwan last summer, I don't think all of that would have played out that way. We're much more accepting of. I don't know. It might just be because I'm Asian. If I were, I don't know how the whites here feel, right? All right. So please continue to pray for me. Pray that tomorrow when I wake up, I land a job in another city that doesn't have bad weather patterns. Pray that I find a way to not have to. I can probably financially afford to not work during the summer. What I probably can't afford is the break in the social connectivity of my work, right? I don't know if I'll continue to find work if I take the summer off, right? That's probably going to be the biggest challenge here. Maybe I just need to find the right avenue to blab about these stories. I really need it. I know it sounds weird how going out to a train and talking about how I got a perfect review at work last year, about how I finally got somewhere in my dating life, how I, for the first time in a long time, I went to sleep without a broken heart, and it only cost me 50,000 Taiwanese dollars. I love telling those stories. I really do. I can't though at my job, and that really burns because I get these things and I can't talk about them, and then I explode on them. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.